Hey guys, this is Matt with the Milwaukee Road. A quick layout update. I've gotten a little bit more done. Coming along over here, you can see I've got a lot of the parking lot, all marked off. I got a lot of the cracks filled in. Coming along, I also have the road a little bit weathered up. I still have to build this area up. One thing I did was I just had the signals here before. I took those out and I put in the signals with the crossbuck or with the arm, so that way it's a little bit more professional looking, for a main road entering a yard. The other thing I did was for the sign itself. I'm gonna try to zoom in on it. I kind of put some shrubs in front of it, put some pine trees, just to kind of build it up so it makes it look a little bit more presentable for a visitor who's driving into the Milwaukee Road yard. I still have to put a little, sign that says visitors with an arrow pointing over towards the the tower itself. I do have a couple of these little American flags. I'm gonna probably put one, just like that in the back. These are actually by Osborne, which is actually a Canadian company, but they're one of the best looking American flags that you can get. Moving along, I also put in some dirt around the construction site. I still have to put some guys working around there. I've got my I-beams right here. Got a little digger back there. My crane, from Shapeways. From Shapeways. I'll move that because he's not going to be there. But you can see I've got the tower area done. And just going back into this area. I still have to work on something in this area between the inside that little Y area. But other than that, I've got a lot done in the yard. One thing I did add was this sanding tower. It's a scratch-built sanding tower. I'm trying to get it so you can see, but there we go. There's brass arms that come down with little brass eyelets so that they could pull down the spout for the sand. Moving along, one thing I have done, sorry about that, right in here, it's kind of hard to see, but I've got a trail. I just put some yellow ground foam down top of the static grass to make it look like there's a trail. We've got two people on bikes. This is gonna kind of parallel the track a little bit, then cross over, and go into Waukesha. It's just kind of trying to simulate, what every teenager in cities knows. They know all the little back ways of getting somewhere. So that's all that I'm trying to do with that. Coming along in the city, one thing I have done, I added a lumber company. So back in my home city of Oconomowoc, there was a lumber company called B&H Lumber. So that's what this company will be. It used to be serviced by the Milwaukee Road. Then it was serviced by Sioux. And I believe when Sioux sold out to CP, I believe that they still delivered a few items to them. But now it's no longer serviced by rail, and it's now actually called Alexander Lumber, but it is right on the main line through Oconomowoc. So that's what I'm doing right there. As you can see, I can get, just about 2 empties to sit up here, and then I can get 2 fulls to sit down there. And it's just enough for, a little crossing right there for the trucks to come in, load or unload or whatever, and leave right over there. I am going to put a little loading ramp so in case if they get a box car in, that way they can unload it. So that's pretty much what I've gotten done right in this area. I'm pretty pleased with how that turned out. Coming along down over here, the only thing that I've done was I took out the just the little Blair Line crossbucks and I put in the NJ International signals. I still have to get this one mounted in and away from the track so that the train won't actually hit it. So that's why I've got my little train sitting here so that I can see how close I need to put it. But coming along, I haven't gotten too much done over here. I do have my two sheriffs right there pulling that one person over, and you can see I've got the figures right there. So I've got the guy with his hands in his pockets, who's actually going to be like the fugitive. The cop right there is writing a ticket, and that one right there is actually holding a baton out. So I have that, scene that I have to put up. But I haven't done anything else in this area. And coming along, still nothing in this area. Now, this is the only thing that I have done. You can see I added the fence around that, and it's kind of hard to see, but I added all the power lines. So the power lines are all on. I'm trying to get this in so that you guys can see it, but you can see I've got all 6 of the power lines going, from one tower right there to the next one and going down to there. So as I zoom in, you can kind of see how they connect there. Oh, I apologize about that. So I still have to finish that fence off, and then I'll re-rail the car that I just knocked over. But moving on from there, again, I'm still waiting on the backdrop. Still haven't quite decided exactly what I'm going to do for the backdrop here. Same thing over on the Milwaukee area. But what I have done is I've worked in Lamira. And I've got the Johnson control area done. I still have to add details and still have to add the little loading dock and loading facility. But other than that, it's pretty much done. I've got the road marked out. I put in some signs. I have the fence up. I still have to put all the ballast down, but that'll all come in time. I got the John Deere tractor supply area done. Just need to add some people in there. Then also the roadway, freight interchange, the construction site. I ended up putting the new fence in. And one thing that I want to show you on this is because, like I was explaining in my last video, this is not static grass. And coming over here, all of this, all in here is all static grass. And as you can see, this is all static grass too. But then in this area and in this area, I have both. And it's just a very light dusting of the static grass over the ground foam, and so then that way that side does not have any, and that side has very little bit, very little, and then starting in the back there and around here is all static grass. Same thing in the foreground with twos. This is all static grass here. I have a very little bit of static grass right there, which creates a really good transition over to the non-static grass area. One other thing I got done was I ended up gluing up my bins and painting them. I just have to, once all of this is put down with gravel, then I'm going to put some sand and some grout in there just to kind of fill those 2 bunkers up. I've got some trees set up just to simulate where they're going to go. And I got some trees, over here for the Twos company. Other than that, that's pretty much all that I've gotten done. Now, the next part, as you can see underneath, it's been getting all rewired for DCC. So everything's been stripped of the DC components. As you can see, it's been cleaned up and put all into DCC. So it's a very time-consuming process to get everything all wired up. My buddy has been helping me out with that a lot, so I really do appreciate that. Other than that, that's pretty much all that I've gotten done. I've been focused on kind of cleaning up the area and trying to get things a little bit more presentable. The wife has been kind of on me about the mess that I have left, so have to make the wife happy in order to keep the trains. So I'm sure a lot of you guys understand that. But that's about all that I have for this update. I apologize. I am having a little bit of I'm getting over a little bit of a cold, so I'm a little stuffed up right now. But next time I will be healthy. But again, that's my new lumber company that's serviced by the rail. And then, you know, what I've gotten done with the Jones Freight Yard. So, hope that you guys enjoy, and I will see you guys on the next layout update. Have any questions, comments, please let me know, and I hope that you guys can subscribe.